Pennsylvania. Excuse me. Darryl McCall, who was a super singer and a good writer, was playing bass with us at the time. And always, every time we had a child born, not Darryl and I, but my wife and I, every time we had a child born, or it was a birthday at home, I was always on the road. And anniversaries on the road. So I would always send 11 roses for whatever the occasion was. And I wrote a lot back then, and I was getting a lot of songs recorded, but I never thought about writing a song about that because it was just a very personal thing to me. So Darryl called my room one night after the show, probably 1 or 2 o'clock, and he said, "Man, are you asleep?" I said, "Well, not anymore." And he said, "Well, I got an idea for a song that's been bugging me for 2 or 3 years." And he said, "Can I come down and bring an acoustic?" And I said, "Yeah." So he came down and brought an acoustic guitar, and he opened his wallet and he told the truth. There was a little piece of paper that was folded, and it had been folded so long it looked like it would tear as he opened it up. And I don't recall, he had 2 lines, I think it was, and I don't even remember what it said. But I saw 11 roses in those 2 lines. And then it jumped out at me, and I thought, man, why did I think about writing a song about that? So I told him that story. We were on tour with George Jones at the time, and we had a matinee the next day. So we sat down and wrote the song. It didn't take any time. It was one of those things that just came pretty quick. There's only 8 lines in the whole song. And so the next day, we wrote it so much like for George Jones. I mean, like for the melody, I tried to keep the melody like he would probably do it, and the whole theme of it. So, and I thought maybe we succeeded at that. So the next day we pulled up next to Jones's bus. It was a park that we were at. And Darryl, he said, "I'm gonna sing that song from Hank." Hank was in the back of the bus. So he got out, I didn't get out, he went to the back of the bus, and he sung it to Hank. And he came back by, and Hank was behind him and had his guitar. And he said, "I'll be right back." So he came out and went over to Jones's bus. So about 10 minutes he came back and he stepped up to the bus and he said, "I'm recording that song." And I said, "Great." But I thought, well, there goes my George Jones cut. That, you know. But then I thought, you know, he's going to cut it. I mean, I was just glad that he was cutting it. But so what happened? He said when he got over, he sung it to George, and when he got to the chorus, George stopped him. He said, "I want to record that song." So we were that close to George, and Hank said, "Nah, I'm going to cut it myself." So he came back, and he did, and it was his first #1 song. It was in 1970. That was his. Thank you. That was his first #1 song and my last #1 song. I had a lot of cuts after that on that particular song. Johnny Rodriguez did it, Sonny James did it, Fair and Young did it. We had a pop record with Al Martino. I don't know who all actually recorded that song. Many people. And then about 3 or 4 years ago, Trace Atkins recorded the song in a tribute album to Hank Jr. So a lot of the newer artists were doing Hank Jr. tunes, and Trace did that one, and it's the best cut I ever heard on it my entire life. I mean, if you get the opportunity, maybe you can Google it or something and check it out, because Lord knows I wish it had been a single record. Yeah, man. I'll